For 1,000 years, Europe slept in darkness. Then, a few minds dared to open their eyes. Life was what your father lived, and his father, questions were dangerous. Obedience was survival. Truth came from above, from priests, from kings. To question was to sin. Books were chained, ideas were caged, knowledge belonged to the few. Think differently, burn publicly. The price of ideas was measured in flesh. Then Galileo pointed a tube at the sky. What he saw would shake thrones. Moons circled Jupiter, not Earth. The church said impossible. The sky said otherwise. They made him kneel, made him recant. But truth doesn't care about tribunals. They silenced his voice. They couldn't silence his proof. The earth still moved. An apple fell. Newton asked why. That question changed everything. Newton turned the cosmos into equations. God's creation could be calculated. They gathered not to pray but to prove. The Royal Society, where evidence was king. White light hid rainbows. Nature had secrets, and secrets could be unlocked. They cut open the dead to understand the living. The body was a machine, knowable. They named every plant, every animal. Creation could be catalogued, understood, mastered. Descartes doubted everything, then found one certainty. I think, therefore I am. If thought proves existence, then reason is the foundation, not faith. Reason. Universities became crossroads. Ideas had no nationality. Truth spoke every language. The printing press made ideas contagious. Censors couldn't burn books fast enough. Locke wrote that power comes from the people. Kings were not gods. Revolution in ink. In England, Parliament defied kings. Power could be questioned, divided, limited. Life, liberty, property, rights not granted by kings. Rights you are born with. Coffeehouses became parliaments of the people. Penny universities, ideas for everyone. Amsterdam printed what others banned. Tolerance was profitable. Freedom had an address. Spinoza lived quietly. His ideas were explosive. God was nature. Nature was God. They burned his books, called him atheist. His thoughts spread like fire. They couldn't control. Louis XIV built Versailles, the Sun King. Absolute power, made beautiful, made visible. I am the state, he declared. One man's will as law, the old order at its peak. While Versailles glittered, peasants starved. The same sun lit both, warmed neither equally. In Parisian salons, dangerous ideas wore silk. Revolution rehearsed in drawing rooms. Voltaire mocked everything. Kings, priests, fools. His weapon was laughter. It cut deep. Candide asked why innocents suffer. The answer wasn't comforting, but it was honest. Kings invited philosophers to dinner. Dangerous guests. Ideas don't bow. Crush the infamous, Voltaire wrote, meaning the church, meaning ignorance, meaning fear. Torture was legal. Confession by agony. Voltaire asked, is this civilization? Diderot dreamed of collecting all knowledge, every craft, every science. One book, the Encyclopedia, 17 volumes, knowledge that was hoarded, now shared. Dangerous equality. Censors deleted, editors rewrote. Published anyway, ideas always find a way. Blacksmiths read about metallurgy, farmers about soil. Knowledge wasn't just for nobles anymore. Rousseau said civilization corrupts. Man is born free, yet everywhere in chains. He preferred forests to salons, nature to artifice, feeling to pure reason. Let children be children, he wrote. Education through nature, revolutionary for its time. The social contract, government by consent, the people as sovereign, seeds of revolution. Montesquieu studied every government, looking for what works, what fails, what corrupts. Divide power 3 ways. Let them check each other. Tyranny's architecture, redesigned. His words crossed oceans. Inspired constitutions. Montesquieu never saw America. America saw him. Franklin brought lightning from the sky, then brought revolution from philosophy to practice. He captured lightning in a jar. Nature's power tamed by reason. The metaphor was perfect. Europeans saw a new kind of man. American. Practical, enlightened, free. Kant walked the same path every day. His mind traveled further than any explorer. Dare to know, Kant wrote. Think for yourself. The Enlightenment in 3 words. What can I know? What should I do? What may I hope? Kant asked everything. Smith saw invisible hands in markets, self-interest serving common good. Economics born, one man makes pins slowly. 10 men, each doing one step, make thousands. Division of labor, let people trade freely, wealth will grow, government should step back. Radical idea. In Edinburgh, friends changed the world over drinks. Hume and Smith, reason and economy. Hume doubted miracles, doubted certainty itself. Some questions have no answers. That's okay. Edinburgh, a small city thinking enormous thoughts. The Scottish Enlightenment blazed bright. Beccaria asked, does torture prevent crime? Does execution? The answer was no. Reform began. Slowly the rack disappeared, the thumbscrew. Reason entered even the darkest cells. Frederick called himself first servant of the state. A king who read Voltaire, dangerous combination. He abolished torture, welcomed refugees. A tyrant who listened to philosophers. Contradiction, walking. Catherine read all the right books, applied few lessons, enlightenment as decoration. She corresponded with Voltaire. Her serfs couldn't read. Some enlightenments were skin deep. Joseph II granted religious freedom. Protestants, Jews, Orthodox, tolerance by decree. Revolution quiet. Prison doors opened. Heresy was no longer crime in some places. Progress, inch by inch. In Masonic lodges, nobles and merchants met as equals. Secret practice for public ideals. Mozart put enlightenment on stage. The magic flute. Light defeats darkness. Reason conquers fear. Music carried ideas where books couldn't reach. Melody as philosophy. Harmony as hope. Concert halls opened to anyone with a ticket. Art for the people. Another revolution. Wollstonecraft asked, what about women? If reason is human, why educate only half? She demanded education for women. Independence, rights. The philosophers hadn't gone far enough. Some schools opened for girls. Slowly, reluctantly, but opened. Ideas are patient. Degas wrote Rights of Woman during Revolution. They guillotined her for it. They wrote about liberty. They owned slaves. The contradiction was monstrous. Some saw it. Equiano wrote his story, proved his humanity to those who denied it. Words as resistance. Abolitionists used Enlightenment logic. If all men have rights, all means all. Simple, radical. Some stopped using sugar, slave sugar. Small act, big principle. Conscience in a teacup. Jefferson wrote that all men are created equal. He owned slaves. Truth and hypocrisy, same hand. Locke, Montesquieu, the philosophers. Their ideas filled the room. A nation built on books. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Enlightenment philosophy signed into existence. July 4th, 1776. Philosophy became war. Ideas worth killing for, worth dying for. The test of belief. They argued for months. Separation of powers. Checks and balances. Building tyranny-proof government. We the people. Not we the king. Not we the nobles. The people. First words. Everything. French soldiers helped Americans win freedom. They brought dangerous ideas home. France would remember. Parisians read about rights while starving. Empty stomachs make ideas explosive. What is the third estate? Everything. What has it been? Nothing. What does it want? Something. The king called the estates, nobles, clergy, everyone else. The everyone else had questions. They swore not to leave until France had constitution. A tennis court became sacred ground. The Bastille, prison, symbol. The revolution needed a dragon to slay. July 14th, 1789. They stormed the Bastille, found few prisoners, found enormous meaning. They tore it down with bare hands. Stone by stone, you can touch the end of tyranny. Men are born free and equal in rights. Not French idea, human idea, universal declaration. Nobles renounced privileges. Midnight session, euphoria of equality. It wouldn't last. Women marched to Versailles, demanded bread, brought the king back to Paris. Their revolution too. Red, white, blue, liberty, equality, fraternity, colors of a new world. Worn proudly, worn dangerously. They seized church lands, made priests government employees. Reason against faith. Lines drawn. The king fled in disguise. Caught at Varennes. A father abandoning his children. Trust died. The guillotine. Humane execution. They said. Equal death for all. Reason's razor edge. January 21st, 1793. The blade fell. 1,000 years of monarchy ended in seconds. The terror began. Enemies everywhere. The guillotine never rested. Freedom's children killing each other. Robespierre believed in virtue, pure virtue. He killed thousands to achieve it. Purity is dangerous. They guillotined Lavoisier, father of chemistry. The revolution had no need for scientists. They said, Danton died. Then Robespierre himself. The guillotine played no favorites. Ideas don't protect their creators. They replaced God with reason, built altars to the supreme being. It felt hollow. It was. When the killing stopped, they looked around. What had they built? What had they destroyed? From chaos rose Napoleon. He promised order, stability. He would crown himself emperor. Napoleon's code. Equality before law. Property rights. Enlightenment surviving its bloody birth. His armies carried the code across Europe. Revolution at bayonet point. Ideas travel strange roads. The old order couldn't fully return. People had tasted equality. You can't untaste that. In Haiti, slaves read the Declaration of Rights, applied it literally, freed themselves, shocked everyone. If all men are equal, all means all. Haiti proved it in blood. The first black republic. Bolivar read Rousseau in Caracas. Dreamed of liberation. Philosophy doesn't respect borders. Declaration after declaration. Mexico, Argentina, Chile, the Enlightenment's children claiming inheritance. The philosophers were dead. Their books lived on, in libraries across new nations. Ideas don't die. Schools taught reason, science, rights. What was radical became curriculum. Revolution normalized. Cameras captured truth mechanically. The Enlightenment's dream. See the world as it actually is. Darwin applied reason to life itself. No divine plan. Natural selection. Beautiful. Terrifying. Women demanded the vote. The Enlightenment's unfinished business. If reason is human, so are we. All men created equal. It took centuries to mean all. The work continues. 1948. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The philosopher's dream made global law. Finally, imperfect nations debating perfect ideals. This is what enlightenment looks like. Messy, necessary, from space, no borders visible. One planet, one humanity. The philosophers imagined this. All human knowledge, available to anyone with connection. Diderot's dream exceeded. Everyone carries a printing press now. Truth harder to suppress. Voltaire would understand. Vaccines, antibiotics, surgery, reason applied to suffering. Millions alive who would be dead. Scientists warn about climate. Will we listen to reason? The Enlightenment's greatest test. Lies spread faster than truth online. Reason has new enemies. The fight isn't over. Tyrants learned new tricks. Propaganda, surveillance. The battle between reason and power continues. Fact-checkers, modern philosophers, fighting lies with evidence. The same war, new weapons. Young people march for their future, using science, demanding reason. The torch passes. Women in laboratories, courtrooms, parliaments. What Wollstonecraft demanded, slowly arriving. Education for all. Debate encouraged. Critical thinking taught. The Enlightenment's gift, still giving. Equal before the law, still imperfect, still the goal. Beccaриa's dream, still being built. A vote, paper or digital. Ordinary person shaping government. Locke's revolution, still revolutionary. Journalists expose powerful liars. Free press. Voltaire's weapon, still sharp. Genius has no nationality, no race, No gender, the Enlightenment finally understanding itself. A child reads, questions form, the world expands. Same miracle as 300 years ago. Their statues stand in squares now. Once hunted, now honored. History's strange justice. The encyclopedia sits in museums. Precious artifact. Its spirit lives in every search engine. Newton's equations still work. Launch satellites. Truth doesn't expire. Beauty doesn't age. Students still ask Kant's questions. What can I know? What should I do? The answers keep changing. Every surgery, every cure, every life saved. The Enlightenment's gift. Practical, precious. Courts check governments. Montesquieu's design still functioning. Imperfect, but essential. Human rights lawyers fight for strangers. Universal dignity. What philosophers dreamed, someone defends. Libraries, free, open. Knowledge for anyone who asks. The revolution continues quietly. Candlelight to electricity. Same purpose. Push back darkness. See clearly. Think freely. Every human can think. Question. Doubt. Conclude. That was their discovery. Still true. From space, our lights are visible. Cities glowing. Knowledge spreading. The darkness pushed back. They lit a candle. We carry the flame. Dare to know. The invitation stands. Always.